returning. In a few months, I will be myself again. November 13th, Sunday. Some hunters went past our place, farmhands working for Algarañas. They are backwoodsmen, young, single, and ideal recruits who have an intense hatred for their boss. They told us that by the river, 8 leagues away, there are houses and some ravines with water. Nothing else of note. November 14th. A week at the camp. Pachungo was unhappy and finding it hard to adapt, but he should get over it soon. Today we began to dig a tunnel to hide anything that might be compromising. We will cover it with sticks and grass to keep it as dry as possible. First, we dug a hole 1.5 meters deep, and from there began digging the tunnel. November 15th. We are still working on the tunnel. In the morning, Pompo and Pachungo, and in the afternoon, Tumeni and me. By the time we stopped working at 6 o'clock, we had already dug 2 meters. We think we will finish it tomorrow and be able to place everything compromising in there. During the night, the rain forced me out of my hammock, which got wet because the nylon cover is too small. Nothing else worth mentioning. November 16th. The tunnel is finished and camouflaged. Now we only have to conceal the path. We will move things to our little house and tomorrow store them away, covering the opening with branches and mud. The diagram of the tunnel known as number 1 is in document 1. The rest was uneventful. From tomorrow it is reasonable to expect news from La Paz. November 17th. The tunnel is filled with the articles that could be compromising for those staying in the house, along with some canned food. It is quite well hidden. Nothing new from La Paz. The lads from the house spoke with Algarañas, from whom they bought some supplies, and he insisted again that he be included in the cocaine factory. November 18th. No news from La Paz. Pachungo and Pombo went back to explore the creek, but are not convinced that this would be the best place for the camp. On Monday, we will explore the area with Tumeni. Algarañas came to repair the truck used to carry rocks up from the river. He spent quite some time doing this. It seems he is not suspicious about our presence here. Everything continues monotonously. The mosquitoes and tick bites are getting infected and turning into bothersome sores. It is starting to get a little chilly in the morning. November 19th. No news from La Paz. No news here. We spent Saturday lying low, as it is the day the hunters are around. November 20th. Marcos and Rolando arrived at noon. Now we are 6th. Immediately, they began to tell us stories from their trip. They were late because they received our message a week ago. They still came faster than anyone else via Sao Paulo. We do not expect the other 4 to arrive before next week. Rodolfo came too and made a good impression on me. Apparently, he is even more willing than Bigotos to break completely from everything. Papi had told both him and Coco that I was here, violating instructions. It seems to have been a case of jealousy of authority. I wrote to Manila with some recommendations and to Papi answering his questions. Rodolfo went back at dawn. November 21st. First day of the expanded group. It rained heavily, and we were drenched as we moved to our new location. We are now settled. The tent turned out to be a canvas tarp used for trucks. It leaks but gives some protection. We have hammocks with nylon covers. More weapons have arrived. Marcos has a garand, and Rolando will be given an M1 from the cache. Jorge stayed with us, but in the house. He is directing the work there to improve the farm. I asked Rodolfo for an agronomist who can be trusted. We will try to keep up this front for as long as possible. November 22nd. Tuma, Jorge, and I walked along the river Nacahuasu to inspect the creek we had discovered. The river was unrecognizable after the rain from the day before, and it took a lot of effort to get where we wanted, a little rivulet that is concealed just where it meets the river. With proper preparation, it could be a permanent camp. We returned just after 9 o'clock. Nothing new here. November 23rd. We set up a lookout from where we can watch the little house at the farm so that we will be alerted if there is an inspection or some unwelcome visitor. As 2 men left to scout the area, the rest of us did 3 hours sentry duty. Pombo and Marcos explored the terrain extending from our camp to the creek, which is still flooded. November 24th. Pacho and Rolando left to explore the creek. They should be back tomorrow. At night, 2 of Algaraña's farmhands stopped by while taking a walk. It was an unusual visit. Nothing strange happened, but Antonio was still out exploring.